That's how I hit in my zone. I put on side of the wheel when I slide in the shit, gotta get in my zone. Yeah, what's happening in my phone? I made a meal off my phone. Yeah, yeah.
Welcome back to our BANDOO Summer in the Trap Festival. You already know who I am, so there's no point getting into that. But right now we've got the one and only
Wifisfuneral was good, man.
It put 100 rings right in my bank. So these fuck niggas step up they rank. 25 dropping on the Cartier. 14 on the rollie all plain.
How fantastic is that? Everybody feel the excitement I do.
Yes.
Firstly, got them butterflies in my stomach. We're not gonna talk about that. Okay, fantastic. Well, now that we're here, actually in the interview, I think we should go ahead and get started. I want to do something soft first. I want to get into it. It's actually something we were just talking about, coming to like social cues and things like that.
Yeah.
So, I know you've mentioned before that you've had a thing with anxiety. Now,
Yeah.
I want to ask you, as somebody who deals with a lot of social anxiety myself,
Right.
like talking to people or going out, being in crowds, how have you dealt with that? How has your career really helped you with that?
I kind of just learned along the way.
Right.
Like, it would. So, like, my first manager was Tariq Sharif from Rolling Loud. He managed me for about, like 3 or 4 years, if I'm not mistaken. So, whenever, before Rolling Loud was, like, a thing, he had this booking agency called Dopey and T. And he would just route tours for bigger artists. So, like, Juicy J, MGK, Earl, Blase Blase. He would always, like, book them, not for tours. And if it wasn't for tours, it was for certain dates in Florida, specifically Orlando. And whenever they would come to Orlando, I was his artist, so he would throw me on the bill up. So, like, I'd be, like, fucking, like, 16, like, 17, like, opening up for, like, fucking whoever, you know what I mean? And I've never had any type of, like, experience, you know what I mean? So I kind of just learned along the way. Like, back then, I used to just, like, I used to just look down like this and just rap and stay in one circle. I swear to God, and just stay in one place. And then just along the line, like, I kind of just had to, like, learn, like, oh, it's a show. Like, you got to, like, entertain them.
Yeah,
they got to
the
feel like
performance,
you got to actually, like, put on, like, a performance. I still struggle with that, honestly. Like, because there will be times that I'm, like, performing and, like, it'll be, like, 20 minutes into the set. I'll be like, like, I get, like, anxiety and I'm like, yo, I want to leave. Like, literally, like, I just get into a fetal position in my brain. I'm like, oh, I got to get the fuck out of here. Because then I realize, like, people are just looking at me. And I'm like, that's weird.
Now, that definitely can be weird. It's like that power difference.
Yeah, that's really all it is. It's not that I'm not appreciative towards it. I'm just still not used to it.
Right.
Like, even when people come up to me and they're just like, yo, can I get a picture? It's not that I don't want to take a picture. I always still take a picture. But in my head, I get defensive at first because it's like, I don't know. The way how people see me, I don't see myself. I still see myself as just a regular person, honestly.
Right. Yeah. See, that's something that I think a lot of people don't really talk about is how they see themselves versus
Yeah.
how the world sees them. So with that, I mean, do you think that's changed? Like is it safe to say you say relatively humble? I mean, talking to you right now, I can already kind of feel that.
Yeah, it took a lot though to be like that because like obtaining whatever type of like clout, fame, money at a very young age that I did, there's definitely like a point where like it got to my head. And even though I didn't show that side of me on like the internet, I definitely was acting like that, you know what I mean? Because I didn't have shit. And on top of that, I wasn't taught how to act with,
When you have it,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
I
it's
know.
like, I'm just acting an ass. I'm just thinking about like, bitch, I just struggle for this shit. Fuck everyone, you know what I mean?
I'm about to ball out.
Yeah,
Right?
so like it's just like that, and just like it's just growing pains, bro. Like honestly, just like not having really any guidance, like as a man. So it's like you gotta kind of like guide yourself.
Right.
So it's just trials and tribulations. You kind of you fucking up just to see what not to do, or you know what I mean? Because I'm the type of person where I can't. Like, somebody could crash out next to me, and I won't learn from them. Because I'll look at them as like, all right, that's you. That's not me. You know what I mean? It takes for me to, like, actually, like, go through something and be like, well, I guess I shouldn't have did that. You know what I mean? Like, so,
I
yeah.
feel it. I mean, okay, that's pretty good though. I mean, learning from yourself is still pretty important.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes you have to learn from those
Yeah,
experiences.
especially, bro. Especially when you're young as shit, man. Like, you definitely should. I advise everyone to learn from themselves.
Yeah,
honestly.
and I mean, you know, I feel like you had a much different path, right? Like
Yeah.
you went from being young, that teenage year, to straight to stardom, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
I feel like that can mess with your head. And so
Yeah.
you being able to stay on top of it, even if it is just in the slightest ways, it's pretty big. You know?
Yeah, definitely.
I feel like a lot of people miss that. A lot of people pretend to play humble, but they don't end up.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I went from like I said, I went from only having like 2-3 friends to like literally my 9th grade year to like my 10th grade year. Like I'm dropped out and I'm like doing this and that and da 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 da, and then come towards what was supposed to be like my senior year. Like I'm this whole, thing on the internet now. So it's like, it was a huge just like fucking like gap with like everything, like a huge gap. It was kind of like we went from like here to like, all right, now we here. You know what I mean? So it's like, what the fuck?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Well, I mean, that's honestly, it's good to hear that
Yeah.
somebody was able to stay. Like, did you have anyone in your life that was guiding you at the time?
Nah.
No.
I mean, I had people that looked out for my best interest, 100%. I'd be lying, but guidance, nah. Cause like, if there was people guiding me, I feel like I would have took that completely different, and I probably would have made not better choices, but different choices. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'd say now I have people in my life that guide me. You know what I mean? Being like 26 now, I like type shit like. So yeah, now yes. Back then, no, there was no guidance. It was just it was straight, just like me, and young as shit, and just turned up off drugs, and I was like, let's go. That was it.
Now, have you ever answered the question about? This is just like a side thing. I really just want to know because I like hearing what people do. So when you first got your big check, like when it was like you saw it and you're like, oh, I don't like zeros. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When you first got that, what was the first thing you did with it?
I spent $75,000 on jewelry.
Shit, that's.
That was the first thing that I did. I'm talking about as soon as that shit hit, I literally went straight to the jewelry store because we were already like, I was on tour, and we were already like in the Sprinter van type shit, and next thing you know, like, oh, all right, it hit. We out. Come on, let's go.
I fuck with it. Okay, cool. Well, I mean, now that we've kind of transitioned a little bit and we're a little bit on the career thing. One thing I do want to ask you is, like, let's say for the sake of argument, nobody knows you. Like, let's say nobody has, like, there's a person that hasn't listened to your music.
Which,
right?
yeah, that's 100% a fact. Yeah,
that's 100% a fact. What is, after all these years of working and doing your thing, what would you say is your favorite song? The song that you 100% go to as a first timer thing?
Honestly, I say the same thing. I don't really feel like I'm at a point with myself where I have a favorite song just yet. There's specific songs within specific projects that I fuck with 100%. Right. You know what I mean? Like if I'm listening to a specific project, all right, I'm gonna listen to bam, 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 and bam. But I don't think I'm at my point where I have like a favorite, like favorite song. I think I can answer that question when I'm like kind of like stepping towards like out this shit. You know what I mean? I'll be able to be like, like this song, this is that one. I ain't even gonna lie. Right. But honestly, bro, I'm gonna just say it for right now. My favorite song is the song that got me my first plaque, which is Beretta. Shout out Snot. Yeah. And so right now Beretta is my favorite song because I got a gold plaque off of Beretta, and probably Where You At will be my second favorite song because it'll probably be my second gold plaque after that one.
Okay, dope. That's I like to hear that. I like people like artists. It's good that you keep your mind open. At least in my opinion. Not having a favorite yet, like just because you never know.
It's just me being like honest. Like I hate when someone asks me a question and I'm just like thinking of a response as opposed to just like being honest about some shit. Because then like I think about what I said and I'm just like, why the fuck didn't I just tell him the truth? Yeah. Like,
I appreciate the honesty. I appreciate that a lot. Okay. Another career thing I want to ask you is we did talk a little bit earlier about some upcoming projects. Yeah. Is there anything you'd like to, speak on it? Anything that you're particularly excited for? So
right now, me and my boy Vice, we're making a collab album right now. I don't know. I personally don't know when it's gonna drop. We're thinking really more like just dropping a shitload of singles. We just dropped like 4 singles in the past like 2 months, and yeah, we're just doing a lot of things singles based right now. So there's that project. I don't know what we're naming that project yet. That's one of the projects. We're still working on Black Heart Revenge too. It's still like in the process. I feel like honestly, I feel like Playboi Carti with like Whole Lotta Red with this album at this point, bro. Like, also, how many versions of Black Heart Revenge have I made? It's like this is like what, like version 9 we're about to be on.
Damn.
Yeah, like almost, bro. We did this album like 10 different times, and it's like 4 years. Yeah, it's
how
like
do you do it?
It's fucking nerve-wracking.
Yeah,
that's really what it is, man.
Like,
there's that one, and then I got like a little EP that I'm working on right now too. So we could expect that either by the ending of this year, like honestly, like probably beginning of next year. That's what is mainly like pushing towards, but there's still a possibility that by the ending of this year it could happen.
Okay, that's dope. That's dope. Now, honestly, it makes me want to know, after spending 4 years making the album, 10 different versions, like, how has that kind of impacted your want to continue doing it?
Damn, that's actually a really good question. Bro, it makes me not want to do this. Like, it really, like, I'm gonna be real with you. Right. It really makes me not want to do this because it's like it's so nerve-wracking, and then it gets to a point where it's like it's not fucking fun, and then like. you're just thinking about like how many people you're letting down, and like you feel like you're letting yourself down, and then it's like it's different because it's like this album is like a legacy album for me. It's not just like a random ass album that I'm dropping.
Yeah,
like
this is important.
a lot of people could like that actually know about me could look at me very different from the way how this album drops. And a lot of people who don't know about me could still look at me different because that could be their first introduction to me. You know what I mean? So it's like you want to like you want to just come correct, and I think that's just what I'm having a problem with. I just feel like every version that I'm hearing, it's just like something's missing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna figure it out though.
You think you could say you're like a perfectionist?
100%. I think that's my biggest downfall. I don't even think that that's like a gift.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah, I mean it's a gift like when it wants to be, but for the most part, bro, I feel like that's my biggest downfall because I procrastinate on him as my witness, my DJ as my witness, because he has a studio that he owns that I record at all the time, and he'll literally come into my sessions and like he'll see me like rapping, bro. If I say one sentence, if I say a sentence, a bar, a word, a syllable completely wrong, I will scrap that whole fucking song.
Really?
I will scrap that whole fucking song and start
serious?
a brand new one from scratch.
But you know, that's still really fucking cool to hear. Like, like that's genius right there. To be able to take, even if it is under the guise of the bad thing that is perfectionism.
Yeah.
I think that's amazing that you could hear one thing off and be like, no, you know what? Let me
Yeah.
make something fresh.
Yeah,
Let me just
yeah,
do a
yeah,
whole
yeah.
new thing. Like that's something a lot of people can't do.
Honestly, man, because like I said, I just want, when it's all said and done, I want my fans that have been supporting me through thick, thin, good, bad, ugly, whatever. I want them to be satisfied, not disappointed, and be like, you know, like this was worth it. Like, you know what I'm saying?
This
Like,
was worth the wait.
thank God, bro. Like this
Right.
shit was worth it. And then on another end too, like I really want, like, I want my son to look back at my career and just look back at his dad and be like, yo, like my dad really did that shit. You know what I mean? Like my dad was like, at one point, my dad was really that
He
nigga.
was on
Like,
it.
you know what I
yeah.
mean? So it's like, it's a lot of pride and a lot of ego that kind of like fuels a lot of shit, but in a very positive way, in a way where it's like I want to leave a legacy behind. I want to do something so good with this shit, or do this shit to the T so good that where like my son don't gotta live like 1/5 of a life that I lived, or even struggle the way how I struggled, or just just literally just change that whole cycle within like generational curses and shit like that. You know.
Yeah, that's definitely a big point people talk about a lot now.
Hell yeah,
generational
bro.
Curses, and you're honestly in that perfect position, which is a great segue because I did want to kind of talk about that.
Yeah.
How was it becoming a father for you?
So it was the craziest feeling, cause like, like on one tip, like you're looking at your life, and like you kind of question yourself, like, damn, am I actually ready to be a dad? Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is a crazy ass like responsibility. Like, is this shit like even worth it? Type shit. And then it's like you kind of feel like everything's like melting around you. You know what I mean? Because you're just like, it's so much change happening so fast, and like us as humans, like we just don't adapt to change the way how we should. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm thinking about all of that, and then I'm seeing my BM's like belly getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and like normally people are excited. I'm getting fucking scared. I'm like, holy shit! Like this is an actual like human being like coming into this world. But then when I held him in my hands for the first time, dog, all that shit went out the window. I was crying like a little bitch, like all types of shit, bro. Like now it's like I like being a dad way more than I like being a rapper. Like like I said earlier, if I could get paid for being a dad, like I'll do it in a heartbeat, straight up.
No, that's definitely cool. Honestly, that's exciting to hear, because there's a lot of people are a lot of different feelings about having kids, being a family.
There's some people that still don't even know how to adapt to even like having a kid. Like they'll love their son, you know what I mean? But just them like adapting to having like a family or just having a kid is like hard for them. For me, like I thought it was gonna be hard just because of the type of person that I was. But like I said, when I held my son in my hands for the first time, like all that shit went out the window. I feel like the only time I ever really get peace in my life is when I hold my son in my hands. And so yeah. That's
very beautiful. That's poetic as shit.
Thank
I'm
you,
not
man.
gonna lie to you. That is poetic.
Appreciate it.
Now, actually, has that inspired any new music in you? Or have you been in full dad mode?
No, I mean, like, like I said, I keep things, like, kind of separate. You know what I mean? Like, when I'm in the studio, like, I'm 100% Wifisfuneral.
Right.
When I'm with my kid, I'm Isaiah Rivera. It's just as simple as that. So, like, I don't do, like, none of that weird shit that people be doing with their kids. Like, you know how some artists, like, bring their kids to the studio and, like, like, I don't, like, if he wants to do music, I want him to discover that for himself.
Right.
I don't want him to feel like I don't want to be like one of those NBA dads and be like, you got to play ball. You know what I mean? Like, fuck that shit, bro. Like, do whatever the fuck you want. I'd rather you do something completely different from me.
Yeah, no, because that's beautiful. I mean,
But if anything, I would feel like my son gave me a lot more motivation because I didn't have a lot of motivation before I had my son. Like, I was kind of just like teeter-tottering with shit. But now it's like I have my kid. Like, before I think about why I want to do it, I'm like, all right, nah, like, I got to put like food in my kid's mouth right now. I don't give a fuck if I don't want to do it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that, if anything, that's really what I got out of that, to be honest.
Yeah, that motivation, that fire underneath the pants. That's
Yeah,
cool.
man.
God, like I said, poetic, man.
Appreciate it,
The
man.
way you putting it is very poetic. That's beautiful. So, with that, I kind of want to ask as well. Do you think that with all this change happening around you, has it started to spark new interests, new hobbies, new anything like to take your mind off of your career, essentially?
Yeah, I mean, cause it's like, you know, a lot of my career was like very like drug influenced and like drug based. It's like when you have a kid, all that shit goes out the window.
It has to.
All that shit goes out the window. You know what I mean? So it's like at times you kind of have like an identity crisis with yourself because you're just like, damn, like this is like I built a foundation off of being like this.
Right.
Like this is how not only how I'm identified, but it's just like this is how I made something for myself. Not just being on drugs, but just like the whole drug culture. You know what I mean? And being into it and just like not faking it either. It's not some shit where it's like I'm like trying to sit here and be like, huh, I do drugs, da 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 da. But it's just like what I'm telling you is 100% like the truth. This is really what I'm going through. So it's like now it's hard to make that type of music because it's like I'm not doing that anymore. I'm being a fucking dad and I'm waking up and like making formula bottles at like fucking 6 a.m. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like I'm not waking up and fucking hating my life and popping God knows what and sipping God knows what and talking about how I want to kill myself. It's like
Well,
it's
That's still like the positive change for you.
Yeah.
It sounds. I can hear it and
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can see it. That's beautiful.
Yeah,
you
man.
know.
Nah, bro.
Giving you a new lease on life. Would you say?
Yeah.
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 That's pretty.
I mean,
cool.
that's why I named him Light.
Oh.
You know, yeah.
Okay, I didn't know.
Yeah,
that.
my son's name's Light.
Wow, that's a beautiful name.
Yeah, man.
It means a lot. I mean, in general. just
Nah,
the
for
word.
real. Nah, for real. For real.
Okay, so would you say that you now I want to kind of shift it a little bit onto like mental health.
Yeah, go ahead.
We've been kind of talking here and there, little spats about mental health. Do you think would it be safe to assume that having your son really helped that?
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
100%. For some people, it doesn't.
Yeah, that's what.
For some people, it doesn't, and I can see why it doesn't because some, like I said, not a lot of people adapt to change, and it's like kind of hard for you to adapt to change if you kind of really haven't even had said change in your life, or you feel like it at least. Because obviously, when you have a kid, it's very life changing. You know what I mean?
Right.
But some people know how to intake that, digest it, actually apply it. You know, like both like physically and mentally, and some people just don't. You know what I mean? They just don't at all. So it's like for those people that don't, like I really pray for them. You know what I mean? Because it's like if I was like that right now, I really feel like I'd be dead right now, and I couldn't even imagine that, and that's just trash. You know what I mean? So my son definitely did help me with my mental health a lot. You know, there's still a lot of things I'm still battling though that obviously my son can't fix. You know what I mean? Like there's just some things that not just kids but anything in life, money, drugs, this, that, nothing could fix that. You know what I mean? So there's that. But for the most part, it's not like. It's like we looking at the cup like halfway full than as opposed to halfway empty now.
Right.
That's
And
the best.
that's
That's
all
the best analogy that I could give it, honestly.
Honestly, that positive mindset will change everything.
Yeah.
It can really be the building block. And I mean, one thing it's a little bit of an oddball question, but it's a little bit of a tangent because you were talking about how, some people, they aren't, like when they have a kid, they don't change. So I want to know from you, if your life had gone differently, if you hadn't made it, in the hypothetical situation, how would you think you'd feel the same about your child?
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah, because you know why? Like, I grew up in a very, like, family-oriented, like, family. You know what I mean? Like, we were very, like, tight. Like, tight. Like, I could go to my mom and talk to my mom about anything. I could go to my little sister and talk to my little sister about anything. My little brother could come up to me and talk to me about anything, any given moment. You know what I mean? Not a lot of people are, like, raised like that, blessed with that, or even even know how to navigate through shit like that. So I feel like regardless if I was a rapper, a plumber, or this or that, I feel like I would have had the same love and the same feeling that I have for my kid. You know what I mean? Right. So yeah, honestly, yeah, truthfully, I think I would still be the same. Honestly.
Okay, that is good though. I mean, at least you're able to see and kind of navigate.
Yeah,
that's very cool. Shoot, I mean, honestly, we talking so much about the family stuff.
Now you good. Now you good.
All right, cool. I think that's really about all I have on here as far as your family. Actually, kind of staying on the family topic. Is your family okay?
Everybody's great. Everybody's great. I was just chilling with my grandmother. She just because my son is her great grandson.
Wow.
So that was That was the first time, and she's lived in the same same place that she's been living for like I don't know, like 40, 50 years now. So she's had like all 3 generations
come
through the crib. So it's like it's crazy, man.
That's very
It's
nice, man.
crazy.
That's cool. That's
Crazy
cool.
as fuck. And my mom's chilling, my little sister's chilling. Yeah, bro, everybody's chilling, bro. Everybody's good, man.
That's good. You see, that's what we like to hear.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like cool. You're in a good place. a
Type
good
shit,
place.
type
So,
shit.
I very much so respect that. Well, again, I think that'll about do it for me.
Okay, for sure.
What I needed to hear.
Yeah,
And
nah,
that's
it's about whatever,
beautiful,
bro.
everything. This is
man.
great. It was a wonderful experience.
Nah, I
talking to
appreciate
you.
it a lot. Thank you so
We're
much,
gonna
man.
switch hands.
Oh, yeah, my bad.
Yeah, with that.
Pardon my left.